Diet and exercise are seen as the two pillars for health, but more and more mental health is being seen as another major component of overall health. When you feel terrible mentally, you probably don't feel like making healthy choices, whether it be healthy food choices or to be active. So taking care of your mental health is so important to be healthy. Today's video will look at stress and how diet can actually affect your stress levels. Also, I'm going to give you a few tips for managing stress. Hi, my name is Sorcha. I'm a nutritionist and healthy lifestyle blogger from Ireland, and on my channel I help make healthy living simple because it doesn't have to be complicated. Like I said, today's video is all about stress, so sit back, relax and de-stress while you watch this video. Be sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell too, so you'll be notified when I upload any more videos. Stress is a major problem in today's society for all age groups. Even children are getting stressed nowadays. Now, different things stress out different people. Like, some people get really stressed about exams, me. Some people get stressed over work, maybe something's happening in your family, money problems, medical problems. It can stress you out. Now, being stressed short term isn't pleasant, but it's not harmful. It's chronic long term stress that can cause health effects because we're not programmed to cope with long term stress. Emotional eating is, well, it's like what it sounds like. It's when you eat for emotional reasons. It's when you eat when you're not really hungry. And it can be very hard to differentiate between when you're actually hungry and when you're emotionally eating. Now, emotions can be mostly bad emotions, so sadness, depression, grief, stress, because stress is kind of an emotion. Yeah, some people also they eat when they're happy, but it's usually the negative emotions that can cause what we would call emotional eating. Some people tend to stress eat. Now, stress eat occurs when our body releases hormones that make us crave comfort foods that are high in sugar, high in saturated fat and salt. And that can happen to anybody. And obviously, then when you're stressed, you want to be giving your body the best nutrients. So these foods aren't exactly the best foods to be going for, but when you're stressed, you don't think about that. When we're stressed, our bodies release this hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is called the stress hormone. And research has been linked to weight gain with chronic stress because when our body releases this cortisol hormone increases our appetite. Short-term stress can actually do the opposite, so it can decrease your appetite. Our nervous system will send a message to our adrenal glands and they will release a hormone called epinephrine. It's our fight or flight hormone. Now, that makes that our body kind of says, right, well, digestion isn't the most important thing at the moment. We need to get out of this situation that we're in, and it puts digestion on hold so you don't feel hungry. Now, there are different types of stress. Obviously, there's physical stress, which would be maybe linked to like illness, and then there would be the emotional stress. But both physical and emotional stress and change our preferences to food, and we kind of crave those comfort foods, those high sugar, high fat foods. Now, this could be linked to the release of that hormone cortisol, the stress hormone, and also when you eat more high sugar foods, it causes glucose spikes in our blood sugar, and that causes insulin spikes, so our body releases insulin. And insulin actually stores fat, so that's why people who are dealing with chronic long-term stress, they might find it difficult to shift that extra weight that they wanted to lose. Now, I'm not saying when you're stressed to avoid your cravings for comfort food. It's just when it happens a lot that it can start causing problems. But often those high sugar foods and those high fat foods do make you feel better in the short term. So if it is just a once-off thing and maybe you've just been really busy and you want to sit down and eat a tub of ice cream, a small tub of ice cream, it's fine to do that. Or maybe you want to get a takeaway because you've been busy all week and you just don't feel like cooking, you have nothing prepared. That's okay to do that. It's just when it happens quite often that you need to sit down and think, right, I need to deal with the stress. I need to look at how much comfort food I'm eating and how much comfort food I actually need. Also, another thing is pressure. If you're under a lot of pressure, it causes stress. Whatever that pressure is, be it your job, your schoolwork, family, it causes stress. And sometimes most of the time, you tend to put your own health in the back seat, which is never a good thing. A lot of people, when they're under pressure, they forget to eat. And then when they do start feeling those symptoms of lightheadedness, they grab something quick, convenient, that usually isn't very nutrient dense. Usually it's high in sugar. Maybe they grab energy drinks, which if you've watched my previous video on energy drinks, you'll know that I'm not a big fan of them. And they just want that quick energy boost to get them to the next step, when really they should be using food as a fuel. Your body is like a car, right? If you put cheap fuel in that car, yeah, it might get you to A to B, but for how long will you be able to keep going from A to B? Because you're not going to get another body. You're not going to, imagine you aren't going to be able to get another car. This is the one car you'll ever have. You'll want to be putting premium fuel into that car so that it doesn't break down when you need it most. So food is fuel, but also you should enjoy your food. Like grabbing something just for the sake of getting rid of that dizzy head that you have or those hunger pangs in your stomach. Take a few minutes to sit down and eat something. Even if you're busy, you should be able to find 10 minutes to sit down and eat something. If you find you're constantly busy and you're never able to have time to make food, prepare it in advance. That is the key. If you find that you're never able to have time to make the food, then have it prepared in advance on a day that you're not busy, so that it is a case of just grabbing it and go. And it's healthy grab and go. It's not full of salt, sugar, and saturated fat grab to go, because they're not good. Not getting enough sleep is a really major health issue for a lot of people. A lot of people find it very difficult to get to sleep, to stay asleep, and a lot of people don't realize how important sleep is to all aspects of our health. When we don't get enough sleep, our body releases extra cortisol, that stress hormone that I've been talking about most of the video. Extra cortisol release can slow down our metabolism, so we don't burn our calories as efficiently or as fast. So you might find that you're not able to lose weight, you're not able to maintain a healthy weight. Cortisol also increases our hunger, so we find that we're eating more, and that's because we didn't get enough sleep, so our body didn't get time to kind of recharge. So it needs to recharge in another way, and it wants to get that from calories. So it increases our hunger so that we eat more, so that's why lack of sleep tends to be linked to increased weight gain. And obviously lack of sleep, it messes with our energy and our mood, so you probably crave those energy drinks or caffeine to keep you going. So the purpose of sleep is to repair our cells and rejuvenate our physical and mental well-being. And you should be getting at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep every 24 hours. Now, some people, there's a very small amount of people out there that can go on less hours sleep, but the majority of people need that much sleep. Now, when a lot of people, when they're stressed, they sometimes unfortunately turn to alcohol. And some people think that alcohol helps you sleep when actually it doesn't. That nightcap actually also increases the amount of cortisol that the brain releases, and it alters our brain chemistry. Alcohol shifts our hormone balance, so it messes up our hormones, and it also messes up how our body perceives and reacts to stress. It also interferes with our REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep. That's why if you've had a few drinks the night before, yeah, you may have slept, but you didn't get deep sleep. And that's why the next day you still feel tired, you have insomnia, feelings like you haven't slept that well. Now, I have been talking about hormones, specifically the hormone cortisol, a lot in this video, but hormones play a major role in stress, and stress messes up hormones, and hormone imbalance just makes us feel terrible, really. So I'm going to look at a few of important hormones that your diet can actually affect. First, I'm going to start with the stress hormone cortisol that I've been talking about this whole video. So it is released from the adrenal glands when we are stressed. Now, it impacts our blood sugar levels, it impacts our immune system, so that's why chronic stress can mean you get sick easier, you catch viruses, infections easier. It also impacts our blood pressure, so it increases our blood pressure usually. And increased release of cortisol also affects how our body stores fat, and it increases the fat storage around our abdomen area, visceral fat. And that type of fat, so tummy fat, is the one that causes the most health problems. It is the most dangerous. So if you've got fat around your thighs, your butt, your arms, that fat isn't usually that dangerous in terms of health. But if you've got fat around your abdomen area, that type of fat does cause a lot of health issues. The next hormone I'm going to talk about is insulin. Insulin, you might have heard of it if you are a diabetic or you know somebody who has diabetes. It acts as a key to our cells. So when I say that, I mean when you eat food, obviously carbohydrate food specifically, then those carbohydrates, they go into your bloodstream. They're broken down first of all into glucose, and that glucose goes into your bloodstream. But we don't want it in our bloodstream. We want it in our cells, because then our cells get energy. So insulin acts as a key to that cell to let the glucose in. If you eat a lot of high sugar foods, even if you're not diabetic, it causes your body to release big spikes of insulin to cope with that sugar. And insulin actually also affects how our body stores fat as well. So if you do eat a lot of high sugar foods that are causing frequent insulin spikes, you probably find it very difficult to lose weight. And like I said, when you're stressed, when you're not getting enough sleep, you tend to crave these high sugar foods because your body is like, why am I so tired? I need energy, and it's looking for sugar. The next hormone is ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. It kind of sounds like a little hungry gremlin, but it is released when you're hungry. And I always say never ever do the grocery shopping when you're hungry, because when you're hungry, your body releases ghrelin, and that's when you just want to eat everything in sight that's edible. When you don't get a lot of sleep, your body releases extra ghrelin because it's looking for that energy that it isn't getting from recharging from sleep. So it wants to get it from calories, so it releases ghrelin so that you eat more calories. Two hormones also that are called the thyroid hormones, the T3 and the T4 hormones, they affect our mood, our weight, our energy. And some people, if they have an underactive thyroid, they will find it very difficult to lose weight because they also affect our metabolism. Also, you probably, if you have an underactive thyroid, you feel so tired, you have no energy, and you could end up feeling a little bit depressed and stressed. You might also find that your hair gets very thin or starts falling out. So if you are getting these symptoms, you probably should go to the doctor and get your thyroid hormone levels checked. You might need to go on a medication. It's just like a little tablet, and that sorts it out. Melatonin is also it's the sleep hormone, and it's released when it's dark outside, and that's why we usually sleep at night. Now, people who do shift work and that, their melatonin levels sometimes get a little bit messed up, but in general, it's kind of controlled by the dark light cycle. Now, you can eat certain foods that they don't contain melatonin. I want to point out there that most foods, you don't want to eat foods that contain hormones, but foods that can help increase the level of hormone or reduce the level of hormone released by your own body. They're usually fruit, vegetables, whole grains. So it's same with melatonin. Actually, I'm not quite sure who told me this, but somebody told me if you eat 2 kiwis before you go to bed, it helps with the release of melatonin. Now, I'm not clarifying this, but it's just eating balanced diet with plenty of fruit and vegetables can help just feel better in general, and it will help with all your hormones staying in balance. The next 4 hormones are kind of known as the happy hormones. And when you're stressed, I highly doubt you feel happy. So sometimes all you need when you're stressed is a little bit of just feel good laughter or just something that makes you feel good. Now, these 4 happy hormones are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Dopamine is associated with the brain's reward system. So it's linked with memory, motor function, pleasure, and learning. Oxytocin is the love hormone. So obviously, it's not just about love. It's like if you love a certain food, it doesn't have to be a person. Or if you really like somebody, it could be a best friend. Spending time with them can release this oxytocin. Now, serotonin is a big one. It regulates your mood, your appetite, your digestion, sleep, memory, and the ability to be confident about what you're doing and the ability to learn. So it is a very important hormone. Finally, endorphins. You've probably heard of endorphins. They are the happy hormone that most people know about. And actually, they are the body's natural painkiller. So if you eat something really, really spicy, your body usually releases endorphins. Now, if you have like IBS, as I do not recommend going out and eating an extra spicy curry to see if you will release endorphins. It doesn't work like that. Endorphins are also released whenever you do exercise and that. So that's why after doing a workout, you normally feel really pumped. And that's also adrenaline that's released as well. But it's the endorphins are the kind of what's making you feel good. Chocolate also releases endorphins. So if you like chocolate, there you go. Now, also, I want to clarify again, no foods actually contain these happy hormones, but minerals and vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B, so all your B vitamins, potassium and zinc and iron help your body increase the release of these hormones. So foods that contain those minerals, so vitamin C, well, basically fruit and vegetables contain most of those minerals and vitamins. So fruit and vegetables and whole grains. Now for a few tips on how to manage stress. Self-care is something that everybody should do, but it depends on what you like doing. Some people, when they're stressed and they need to relax, they like to go for a run, they like to go for a swim or go to the gym. They like to be active. Some people don't. And yes, being active and doing exercise regularly it's so important to your health. But sometimes when you're stressed and you've had a long day, a long week, a long month, a long year, doesn't matter. sometimes exercise just isn't what you need. So for me, my way of relaxing is to have like a nice warm bath with lavender in it and to listen to my audiobook or read a book. I also just reading a book for me is a great way to relax. But I also like watching movies. Sometimes just sitting back and watching a really funny movie when I've just had a really bad day, it makes me feel better. And that's me, but that might not work for somebody else. Also, I would highly recommend getting massage therapy. So, acupuncture is great. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, I don't want to have pins stuck in me. And that's what I thought originally when I first went to get it done. But I promise you, it is not like that. They put a little like needle right there, and after they put that needle there, I don't know what it does. I don't know the science behind it, or if there is science behind it, or if it's just magic. It just makes you just like melt. It's so good. And also acupuncture helps if you have certain health issues as well. And reflexology is great because it's amazing. The feet are connected to your whole body. And also I'm not going to be talking about reflexology because I know nothing about it. I just know it feels really good and it works. So there are just a few things you could do. You could make your own. Like, do you like getting facials? Maybe just sitting, looking out the window. Some people like doing that. Watching the car parks. Going for a walk with your dog. Maybe just sitting out in the grass with your dog if you have a dog, if you have a cat. And animals, sometimes people find them very good to de-stress. Just sitting, petting your dog can make you relax. Also, if you are feeling very stressed, very down, sometimes you need to talk to somebody. If you don't feel like you have anybody to talk to, there are so many great sites out there, charities that will help. Find somebody for you to talk to because talking about your problems, it really does help. A few more things is make sure you're eating a balanced diet. A balanced diet isn't just vegetables or just salads. It includes all food groups and it does include treating yourself once in a while and not restricting yourself. Also, kind of limit the alcohol because technically, really, alcohol doesn't have any health benefits. I know there's things out there saying red wine can have help with healthy heart and stuff, and very small amounts, yes, but put it this way, I haven't found anything saying that drinking alcohol has any major health benefits. So go easy on alcohol. Drink plenty of water though. Stay hydrated. That's so important. Also, avoid depending on energy drinks and coffee, high caffeine stuff, high sugar stuff to give you energy. If you're feeling tired all the time, you probably need more sleep, or you could have an underlying condition just brewing away that you need to get checked out. If you eat a balanced diet, drink plenty of water, get plenty of sleep, and also check in with yourself. That means, like, I don't know, close your eyes and just think, right, what am I feeling right now? Do I feel overwhelmed? Do I have a sore head? Something as easy as that, that you just slow down and think, right, my stomach hasn't been feeling great the past few days. Maybe I need to get it checked out. Or I've been having a lot of headaches or migraines recently. Something's not right here. So you know yourself better than anybody. So that's where you need to check in with yourself. I hope you liked this video and I hope it helps you. Make sure to give it a like and a subscribe and hit the notification bell if you did like it. And also, if you want to comment below, what do you do to de-stress? Do you have like a bubble bath, or do you go for a run, or do you read a book? I'd love to find out what you do. So thanks for watching. Bye.